What's going on, everyone? So I'm going to do another video tonight, a little bit different. I'm going to do the top 5 Ryobi tools I think possibly you should look at. They're the only 5 that I've kept. If you've happened to have seen any of my other videos, I like Festool a lot. They're quality tools. You pay for them, but they're quality. A lot of my side business is I build furniture, so I prefer quality tools, and I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of flack on this, and I'm prepared for it. But some of these Ryobi tools, they're just cheap, China-made, mass manufactured tools, and a lot of them don't last. Especially if you put any kind of high usage on them, they just don't last. The good thing about them is that the batteries are cheap, the chargers are cheap, and they're always running deals, especially like on Black Friday, July 4th, whatever the holiday is. Home Depot's always selling or has a real good price or sale price for some of these 18 volt 1 Plus batteries, I think is what they called. And they've got hundreds of tools that these batteries fit, which is another good thing. So you can have one battery platform and tons of tools to go with it. But me personally, I just haven't found a lot of good quality tools from Ryobi, except these 5. These are what I've kept. So to get started, I really like this 3/8 inch stapler from Ryobi. I use it a lot, especially around Christmas. We just got done with Christmas down here in Texas, just like everywhere else. But this worked out great for hanging up lights, stapling the cord to the fascia, or we've got some fencing in the backyard where I stapled the Christmas lights to the fence, and this was amazing. It worked perfect. Got a little 2 amp hour battery on it, and in fact, this doesn't have a fuel gauge on it. It never ran out. I never recharged it. I never had one misfire. It just worked. It's got a depth gauge up here top. You can turn the back knob either less deep or more deep, however far you want it to go in, and it's got a little gauge that shows you how far that 3/8 inch staple is going to go in. So it's a pretty good tool. I didn't have any issues with it when I was using it for 2 or 3 days straight. And I've used it before this year, but not heavily. But it's never failed me, so not a bad one. Let's see. Next one is this 18 volt glue gun. Okay, guys, I saw this as a Black Friday ad, and it was like $39 for the glue gun. I don't know, 5 glue sticks. And this is a 1.5 amp hour battery. 39 bucks. I had to buy it just to see what it would, if it was any good. And I tell you what, I found more uses for this thing around this shop than I ever thought I would. Hanging up stuff. I don't know. It just comes in real handy. It takes about 5 minutes to get hot. There's a little trigger switch right here. I don't know if you can see that red button, but it doesn't change color. It stays red. So I figured it might change to like green or something when it's hot enough. It doesn't, but it takes about 5 minutes for it to get hot enough to use. But I found all kinds of uses for this thing around here in the shop, and especially around Christmas time again. Hot gluing some of the wire to the brick, the Christmas light wire to the brick. This worked perfect. I was surprised. I never thought that I would. I've got 4 or 5 corded glue guns that I've had for years and years and years, and I've maybe pulled them out 2 or 3 times. And I've probably used this, now that I have it cordless, just sitting up there above my my miter saw. I probably used it 10 times in the past week in this shop alone. So that's another pretty good buy. This is one that I would recommend. This is the Ryobi P305. So this is a good find. Next one I use all the time is this Inflator deflator. Okay, I use this thing for pool rafts, pool floats. It blows them up. Before we had our pool built, my my kids, we would buy them every year, one of those big giant inflatable pools with the slides and stuff that we put on the porch, and this would blow it up. And when we got done, it's got a deflating function. You just plug it in and it sucks all the air out, like a pancake, almost, down to the ground. It's just purely, all the air's gone. You roll it up and it actually fits back in the box that it came in. And that never happens with inflatables. You can't ever get it back to the box that it came in. This you can. You can also hook this up. You can air up your tires. You can put the PSI that you want to attain, and you turn it on, hook it up, you plug it into, you connect your tire to it, whatever, put the PSI you want, turn it on, and it'll automatically shut off when it gets to that PSI. So this thing's been awesome. We take it camping, it blows up our air mattresses, deflates our air mattresses. So this has been, and I've had this for about 2 years. And this is probably my most used Ryobi tool out of all these 5. And let's see if I can get a model number. This is P731, 18 volt, 1 plus. So this thing's been really good. I can recommend this one too. Let's see. And then this one, I'll be honest with you, I wasn't pretty sure that I would actually enjoy this or even could recommend it, but this is the, let's see, this is the, I'm trying to find a model number here. It's your 18 gauge brad nailer. It shoots 5/8 up to 2-inch brad nails. Air strike type technology. I just don't see a model number on this, guys. I'm sorry. P320. There's a model number. But I've had this for about a year, and it's been great. This one has kind of surprised me. It's heavy. It's real heavy. Now I do have a 6 amp. Yep, 6 amp hour battery in this thing. LED lights, soft pad. It has jammed a couple of times, but I think some of that's due to user error, and probably some of the nails were a little bit glued too heavy together, and these things get jammed. That's not a big deal. But I have used this a lot, and I'm pretty happy with it. I used to use, I had a couple of Rigids, I had a DeWalt, all air guns, all 18 gauge air guns, and it's such a pain to get the air compressor going, pull out the hose, connect it, especially if you have to do like 5 or 6 quick nails. These are so much faster, and I've really enjoyed it. It's been really good. I don't have any complaints. It's got depth setting in the back, so you can get the head of your nail however far deep you want. If you want it flush, if you want it just below the surface, you can dial it in by the back here. This has been a real good tool. No complaints. It holds your standard probably 1.5 links of. So it's been a good tool. This is one that I'm definitely going to keep around instead of giving away to family members that I don't really like that much. No, I'm just kidding. But I'm going to keep it. I do like it. And the last tool that I use quite a bit, especially here in the shop, is this LED shop light. So this guy's pretty cool. What's cool about it is it's a hybrid. So it takes this battery. You can also plug it in. So your standard 110, you can plug it in and have non-stop power. I don't usually ever plug it in because I have 8 or 9 of these 1 plus batteries, because again, they're so cheap and I always buy them when they're on sale. But it's got a couple different modes. Try not to blind you guys. So high, medium, off. It's probably hard for you guys to tell, but it gets pretty bright. We do take this one camping with us, and high's too much, especially when it's it's pitch black outside and you got some other folks around you. High is way too high. The medium setting gets you by just fine. You can loosen up this knob here and get the angle you want, tighten it down, it'll stay there. It's got a hook, so if you need to hang it, I suppose you can hang it up by this hook right here. Haven't ever used that function of it. I've always had a place to put it. But I guess if you're framing a house or doing whatever, you know, you can trap some kind of something to hang it from, I guess. I don't know. I'm not going to go into that, but it sits up just fine for me, and I can usually find the angle that I want. So this has been really cool. And we actually had to use this last time we had a power outage. It was only for a couple hours, but you know, houses get pretty dark at night, and you don't realize how much you rely on electricity. And of course, the 2 or 3 flashlights that we could find were out of batteries. So I remember that I had this and plenty of charged up Ryobi batteries, and we used this around the house until we got power back. So this has been real good. I would recommend this. So those are my 5 Ryobis that I've kept. I've bought other Ryobi tools throughout my life, I guess. I haven't kept any of them. They've either broken or died, or I've given them away, or I've taken them back, returned them. These have been the only ones that I've kept. And so far, you know, I'd say that I've had most of these for probably well over, you know, a year, 2 years, with the exception of this glue gun, which I just got this year, that I really like. But the rest of them I've had for a while, and they've performed well. You know, they're not expensive, and the batteries are cheap, and the chargers are cheap, and they're always on sale. You can always, if you watch Home Depot, they're always throwing these on some crazy cheap sale. So these are the 5 that I recommend. I'm sure there's going to be comments that their drills are great, their impacts are great, their saws are great. You know, that's fine. They might be. They just haven't been for me. But as far as what I recommend, it'll be these 5. So anyway, those are the top 5 Ryobis that I own. So I hope you guys found that somewhat informative. But anyway, you guys have a good night. See you later.